Hey everybody, Wallywood here again. So it's been a little while since I've made a video or even done any art pieces. I think my last true project that I sat down with was the Savio Vega outfit, which I was thinking about streaming a few of those or showing a few of those off in tutorials, but I'm kind of glad I waited because I've decided to take on. I mentioned in a previous tutorial that I'll be doing a bigger project. And that bigger project is finally landed. I've finally decided that I'm going to go ahead and or start on it at least. As you can see on the screen, we have my template here, and I've decided to pick up the LOD body armor. And if everything goes according to plan, this should be a fully customizable body armor piece that will follow through all the way through NWA, all the way through WCW, WWF. Attitude Error, LOD 2000. I mean, so if I can manage to do this like I'd like to, it will have fully colorful parts and even the option to add spikes or not have spikes. I'm even thinking about doing different variants of spikes. So there may be like 2 or 3 different variants of spikes. There also may be like the skull shoulder pad part, things like that, or the graphic that says Chicago on them. You know, I don't know. We're gonna see how this goes. I'd like to, but right now we're gonna start on the base. So just kind of get you an idea. I've already done 2 of my layers here, and I've got front and back here highlighted. So with my reference art here, that is going to be the front, and that is going to be the back. So we've already got that, already got it sized up. The reason why I skipped this step is because we've done this before. We've done this exact step before. Actually, I think I may have actually got it backwards. No, that's right. There I am, double thinking. So straight off the bat, you'll notice that we have the back part, and it looks like the straps are overhanging here. So we're going to get a little bit more into the 3D realm of this. This is going to be a more advanced way to handle. So I guess what I'm going to try to do is actually cover the waist area and 3D manipulation at the same time. Because the waist area in Fire Pro is a very unique area. It basically covers the shorts and the torso. So whenever you're doing like pant logos and things like that, I mean, it covers, you know, around the back of the like shorts and of course the front. As a matter of fact, I've got little markers over here in my template that say like front, and there's a Rocky Maivia logo. I think it's like one of the rocks. It's like Rocky Maiv's like last logo before he became like the Rock. And then I think on the actual back, yep, there you go, it says the Rock. So yeah, so those are the way that my templates are laid out. So you can kind of tell if you're looking at the front or the back. We're gonna go and hide those because I think it's pretty obvious. So also something else really unique about the tutorial for the waist and area is it does not act exactly how you would expect it to. And what I mean by that is this. You'll notice that there's a Bam Bam Bigelow logo here. This was done by K Radiation, and he has done some tremendous work. If you've seen his stuff, man, you'll understand what I'm talking about. He's really good at separating the chest and the waist areas. And this is a good logo to kind of identify why that is. If you were to look in game, and you had this set up, you'd have to set up anything above, I believe, right here. Technically, it's going to be hidden. So if you see like where that crest of that V is, I believe anything above that is going to be hidden. So it's very difficult sometimes to line up shots. As a matter of fact, on my Atom Bomb, I had a horrific job trying to get the bottom part of the Atom Bomb logo to actually show up correctly, and I don't think I ever got it successful if I think back now. I may actually have to go back there and try to fix that now that I understand it. That was like one of the first ones that I did, so I didn't necessarily understand it 100%. So I'm going to quit rambling, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and highlight the front here. I'm going to make a copy of this. I've already sized it to how I want it to be. I'm just going to copy it over. Notice that we still have a lot of area here that is still kind of overlapped, and I'm just going to try to pull it and get it to about the right spot. Now, here's where the trick comes in for 3D and object. Most graphic design programs have a 3D option, so I can take this object and I can actually come in here and try to, if I can remember where the 3D option is. It's a layer. Yeah. So let's rotate the zoom. Okay, so I'm gonna have to use rotate and zoom. I think most of the other ones call it something else, a little bit different. And you'll notice that there's a ball here on paint.net, and I can just literally take it and kind of angle that ball slightly. And if you notice, it almost gives it a 3D appeal to that layer that we just added. So if you want it more like to the side, you can. If you want it more like of a slant, you can. I'm just doing a minor slant, just a little bit off center. We're gonna go ahead and do that, and I'm gonna move it up here, and there we go. Now the only other thing that we need to do to make this make sense is we can move it a little bit more over, I think, and even turn it, tilt it, until we get it about the right angle. But the only other thing that we're going to need to do here is actually copy the strap. So what I like to recommend here is take a strap, copy it, add it to its own individual layer or picture to the side. Now we can use this strap right here. We can actually add that back in like this. Oh, also, there's another little cheap trick that you can do here. Go ahead and just overlap it. And kind of pull it. And since it's an all black strap, it won't distort too much. So you can actually resize it like that. There you go. And see, now it gives it the illusion of wrapping around the body. So after you're done with that, I like to go ahead and get all my front pieces together, just all in one layer. So because this right here is going to be very tricky, especially whenever you go to export. I like to keep everything separate until the very end. One of the reasons of keeping everything separate is because whenever it comes down to highlighting parts and moving pieces over, you want to keep it clean, and you want to be able to like highlight just an actual small part by itself. And see that right there, that part's actually going to work for that angle. Now I could come in here and angle it a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. Just a slight angle change there. Yeah, there we go. We're going to pick that back up, and we're going to put that up there. Now you'll notice the overhang. Keep all that overhang. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. And we're actually going to copy that one again. And now we have a side view here. Okay, so this is where things can get really tricky, because if you want to angle it, you can angle it like harshly to the side like that if you really want to. I have a tendency to do this instead. I will pick it up. Let me back out. I'll pick it up to about where I want it to go, and I'll shorten the one side, but I'll leave the other side long, and I'll just do that, and it'll kind of give you the same offset angle piece, but also by sucking it in. Now, there's also another trick that you can do, because if you don't want to do that too much, here's another trick I like to do. Kind of highlight the middle part right here, and now what we're going to do is we're going to actually suck that in a hair. And then what we've done here is we've actually created more of a 3D effect just by going to the middle, just by angling it just the right way and putting it there. Now, we're not done with this view. And this view right here is actually going to be kind of a little difficult to do. This one's going to take like a little bit of a trick to it. Now with this right here, we're going to need to angle this one out as well. So we're going to go right here, and we are going to rotate rotate and zoom, and I'm gonna zero this one back out all the way. Because I really don't want that one to be angled like that, at least. I wouldn't mind it being angled like that. Yeah. Good job. Okay, so now we're gonna just kind of angle it this way. We're gonna pick up. We're gonna overlay it over the front piece. But I don't like that. Okay. Either way, we're gonna pick it up just a hair, get it just right there on the back side. And this is where it's gonna get a little tricky, because you're gonna want to delete some parts here. So without getting too far out, we're gonna delete that strap off of that, and we're gonna go ahead and delete this because that's too far over. Now, don't worry about this part right here, because even though that's a back part, we can still use this part as a front piece. So we can come in here and we can angle this out a little bit. I'm not too fond of that angle, so let's turn that a little bit. Let's suck it in a little bit. Basically, we just want to cover up that side. And again, don't worry too much about not covering up every aspect of it, because there is a lot that's it will be covered up in game. Whenever you do the chest part, it will blend right in perfectly to that top part, and it won't be any problems. So this doesn't look 100% great right now, and here's one of the reasons why, because we haven't cleaned anything up. Now, before I recommend cleaning anything, and what I mean by the cleaning is going in here and highlighting the area, and then just, you know, doing it that way, like I've showed you before, where we come in here and we basically say, okay, let's highlight everything except for that, so anything that's not in that outline right there gets deleted. So instead of doing that this time, we're going to leave it all undone first, and here's the reason why. Because parts like this right here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to merge that to the front part. And it doesn't matter, but this is the reason why we're going to go ahead and do it. We're going to go ahead and copy this layer down here, and then we're literally just going to be able to turn it, and now we don't have to worry about those angles anymore. We can literally do the same thing again for the one right beneath it. And you can get away with a little bit of stretching up there. Like if you want to pick that up a hair, if you want to pull it back a little bit, just until you feel comfortable. They are football pads, so as long as they continue to look like football pads, you'll be okay. Again, we're going to stretch this out here. So anything off the body is going to be deleted, so keep that in mind. So it will take form of the actual shape itself. So we just got done with that entire row based off the idea of just doing this one section. That's the beautiful part about doing armor pieces. It can be easy. Now, it can also be a headache, because things like this will happen. I've got a front piece highlighted right here, got to copy it, got to pull it down, and this is where we're going to have to learn how to angle it from the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pick it up from the bottom. Because if we try to tilt that, it's going to be a nightmare. You can, if you want, it's fine. It's just not going to be 100% exactly like you want it to look. And my best bet for this would be to literally just pull it from the bottom to the top. It's highly unlikely that you're going to be running into I don't know. If you don't have interest craft, I see people using this a lot, probably just as like an in-game like fighting with your spikes on, whatever you can. But in most cases, most people are only going to use this for entrance attire. If they don't, it's fine, whatever. So we're going to keep going with this right here. I am not going to do the whole thing on camera. I know I've said that before and ended up doing it, but this is just literally going to be just a small part. As you can see, I've barely got this one at all up here, because that is all going to be deleted. And then from here, we're going to go in here and grab the back pieces. So make sure you highlight the back. Go ahead and get that one started. So we're going to start over here. And again, the duplication trick is fantastic for this part because it will save you a lot of time. Come down here, we're going to add that to the back here. Turn it a little bit. There's not enough of an angle there for me to use the 3D dimensional tool, but there is enough at this one right here to kind of suck it in from the bottom to the top. Kind of like this right here. So sucking it in. There you go. Alright, so look, down here at the very bottom also, we already have what looks like another piece like this that I did not do. So let's go ahead and grab this one. Let's copy it over. And we can just do it like that. Here. And then that one's done. And it looks like we may even be able to get rid of doing it, or we might be able to get away. Yep, we're going to be able to get away with doing it here. Okay. So this one right here, yeah. Oh, one more. 2 more. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I do want to keep this under 20 minutes. Okay, so this one's going to be upside. No, the Bam Bam logo is just right there. We just got to angle that one. And let's go ahead and do this one. My mistake. I almost called it something it wasn't. Okay, now there are a few other angles that you can get away with this part. So, what I would recommend is doing this. At this little angle right here, okay? It is a half kind of in the front, half in the back type thing. So you can actually just kind of pull that all the way and widen it a hair. It's not a common angle. And again, everything on that side piece is going to be covered up. So we're just going to go ahead and cover all that. Add all those to the front. It's a lot to add to the front. Let me see if I can even see anything from the back side here. So this is why my template is important for me. I can come in here and I can click on this and I can see if I can actually see that back angle at all. Anywhere that I see the rock, I'm going to be able to see a part of that back angle at. Can't see it there, but I can kind of see the side. So go ahead and go back in here and adjust this. I may just need to adjust that one off. You know what? I am going to adjust that one off. Whoop. Aha. Going to erase that one because I can't see the rocks logo over there, so no point in pointing that whole side. This is where things will get a little tricky to your eyesight too. You will sit here and you'll play around with angles and it will drive you crazy. So I do recommend kind of taking a break once you get a few parts done. That is very important because the longer you sit there in front of this thing, it can play tricks with your mind. You can sit there and think that you're doing an entire angle that you're not. I have, whenever I did the glacier armor, I had a big problem with, I had to go back and actually redo a lot of it because of that same very reason. I thought that I was actually doing a whole other part that I wasn't doing, and ended up putting the back on the front, and man, I was not a happy camper. So right here, we're going to use the strap piece because that is important. Even though we might not be putting the back part of that armor there, we do still want that to look like it's strapped to something. You don't want it to look. So we're going to go back up here, and we're also going to clean up this part right there. And that's right. Nope, I don't like the way that looks. Let me undo. Undo is going to be your best friend in this. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that, and especially if it's your first time. It is going to take some practice. Angles are not fun to play with. You can go in here pixel by pixel and kind of just delete left or something like that. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit better. Might even come in here and just actually touch and stuff. This is, like I said, this is going to be a more advanced technique. So you are going to be kind of playing around with pieces. Let me get the right color here, so I can just color in this strap. Now that's about right. Always keep in mind, if you zoom out and it looks okay, it's most likely going to be fine again. So if it comes in looking like, you know, really pixelated, then yeah, it's possible it's going to be pixelated. We're right here at 20 minutes. I'm going to go and clean this up for a second, just to kind of show you guys what it will look like completely clean. And what we're going to do for this, we're going to form these sides here. And I just formed the top and the bottom, and now I'm just deleting around it. So that's kind of a preview about what it's going to look like. Unfortunately, I'm not ready to put it in game yet. I'm not ready to go ahead and call it quits. So I'm a little bit further away from that stage. So I'm just going to hit Control Z, undo, undo, undo again, and right back to work. So that's it for the bottom part of the waist. And again, logos on the tights work the exact same way. Everything's done with angles. Everything's done with just kind of understanding where it needs to be placed. And keep in mind that everything beneath this line right here is probably not going to be seen. So honestly, this black part right here, I don't think it's even going to be seen. As much as that sucks, because it adds a lot of good detail to the armor, it probably won't. It probably just won't show up. But in case it does, you know, it's good to have it there. I'd love to say that I could get this done in about 30 minutes or so, but unfortunately, when it comes down to all these angles and just different things that you have to add to armor pieces, this is one that's going to take you probably a good hour, hour and a half. You're going to want to make sure that everything is tediously done. That means going in and making sure that all your angles look correct. It means making sure that you got everything copied right. As a matter of fact, just to kind of show you what I mean here, I see a little bit of the front and the back logo showing up on this one, so I can actually get away with this one. Right here, highlight, copy, and I can expand like that. Boom, there we go. So see, that's another one out of the way, but we are far from done, because now I'm going to go in here and do all these extra angles. Tune in next time, and I will probably be working on the chest piece. If there's, I think I've covered almost every other part except for like gloves. I don't think I've done forearms yet. I don't think I've done upper arms. I think I've done calf. Yeah, I've done calf. But if you guys have any suggestions for what you want to see or what you want me to go over, I definitely can. Just remember these little techniques of kind of squishing things in. Oh, here's kind of a cool technique too. So this is something that I like to do as well. Watch this. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to actually move this around. Using the wrong thing. Alright, I'm going to want to move this square to angle it to match the angle of this. And now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to suck it in a little bit on the side. Look at that. So it just kind of sucks it in and kind of gives it more of an angle. And you can actually do that same thing here. What you're going to do is you're just going to use the move square. And bring it like that. And same thing here. We're going to just suck it in from the side. And you can even come in here and you can even adjust how far you want it to go up here. There you go. So I'm going to continue working here, and you guys have a nice night. And tune in next time. See you later.